This program is brought to you by Omama Royal Chocolate.
Delicious.
No, don't mommy be.
KTA Mobile.
It's the future.
Sam Estate. Slam Technologies.
The whole computer school wow. Teachers no wa botre no betimi achire wa eno ani Slam Technologies.
GhanaMats.com. Auction Cars. Jack SP app.
Me kodada.
Tiger Nut Powder. Fruity Water. Shasha Wicks. Fourth Wheel Solicitors UK. Eligible app.
Download it on Google Play and Apple App Store now.
All right, memo ajona mamo akwaba edewaba yenkomo iso. Ebi efre womo ensuo ba ebi se womo eye abosomoma. Bebre no a wogidie ewo saa emofre ho. Wo Ghana na uti anye ye na wo abofra bi a otesa asem na ato. Se yankase wankasa wonya yebeka se asotwe bi na aba oso. Obi a wonhwemu a wode ema. Bigidie kura ne se enyade a yetumi esa anase ano eni adru. Nyumre hwe na afi yetumi awuremu na yedi ho enkomo ahwese etisen potin ensemben ena ewom asembisa no etisen na yetumi abisa ensem no sede etie mede de kofi adroma wonwani menu abema ba ko ewo ha sanso ena eni aba ba ko enso ewo ha mema wo mo akwaba na ya hye enkomo na say along the line no ye be san de eni aba ko aka ho na interview no fa bi be ye English ena ebi nso ebe ye twi sebeboa Yama me guest am wo mo studio ha no ye betumi ene wo mo edi enkomo edi kan mema yeni abafo akwaba bafo de bebre no a enim no abra na oko school a ka do say bafo na do na keke right
na
epim wo na out of from
9
eno ano no afi de untimi nante untimi nya hwe
control something toilets na the whole flat.
For how many years?
The door flat. Assassin na when me call Efian Kwanta from Efian Kwanta Kolobu. No, yeah, spine surgery. No, that's still mentum control something, mentum control Johnson. Mentum me ahe metina ho me 30 minutes or dame da ho. Dama so there abrofu bi no be America for obeka stem cell ma meditate ya mediba pampas so I raise a fund government also boy na medical treatment in India the hospital they offer neurogen so me ko be no improvement back kankra you dai mitum control sonji mitum control toilet so mitum me she brace me gina ho
yeah send me video be after there watch out
gina wa mitum gina wa or at least mitum gina 4 hours 5 hours no kona mitum di walker na brace na nanto and then no changes abi
okay bisa say na den na bafo eka ho bafo one girl na ye the fact say nipa e fa mo so mo ye nsuo ba no onyema wo ntumi nye bi e ye de awuko mu ya mo yo nso a mo ntumi enka na den bi
like on the medical hospital me doing the meantime no yeah the month of April and was every year no April na was a autism day
yeah
tina hospital no yeah and they were organized bi so na me I'm friend I was say we in Suba Wagani you dey be my address nice you be no so still when their condition or let me be say na was say hona why fine now one am hono na what today hona still what condition on na treatment na one me film the same thing one wants to film ma wo ho ato nti me be na ye second show
ona ko hu se sa na etimi sa
nsuo
ba yetumi ehwe
wo ye ona ma wo ho to ho at least nimpa no tum se onye today obi ahwe ya no kra na motum akade 80% no ehu do botum aye ni bibia so na me ben me new year second interview ma me ka ho asem kakra see me introduce nkofo kakra to hospital the man be your friend Mr. Adams no so ko hospital to okọ na no so ko hu so ko you know so no then all look do too much or Ghana even me boy schools also train one training no case say our parents na early use ka ahwa friend wo dem school na training ni wa a friend on independent or do be for be here and that's we be as we show be back see only hospital na back so we botum wa ba I think last week no catch them there over.
Okay. Mr. So my main second guest. Let me officially welcome our second guest. Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you very much.
Your name?
Danielle. I'm Danielle Tacy and I'm from South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. Your first time in Ghana?
Yes, very first time.
How are you seeing Ghana?
It's nice. It's very hot. It's very hot and it's very humid. Okay. I'm not used to the weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I hope you've tasted some local dishes.
Yes, I did. I had some beans and something.
Oh, okay.
It was nice though.
It
was nice.
I don't know. I understand you've taught some African countries as well.
Yes.
Where have you been to?
Okay, so we have been through Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Botswana, Congo, DRC. We've been too many. Namibia, Mozambique, Mauritius. So yeah, we've been through a lot in African countries.
Okay, and this condition that we're discussing, back here in Ghana, it is believed to be spiritual. I don't know if it cuts across these African countries that you've been to. Yeah. Do they also see it as spiritual? Yes,
actually, even in South Africa, we, right through the whole of Africa, people believe that autism or cerebral palsy, any neurological condition that a child has, is believed to be some spirit or a curse, or it's not the case. It's not true. What it is that there has been some or other medical emergency that has happened, which has caused the child's brain to have a lack of oxygen, and so you have damaged cells in the brain, and this then causes certain conditions that we find in children.
Okay, I'll be coming back to you. You talk of it not being spiritual. I know Bafo has tried. When he had his condition, he tried getting some spiritual assistance. So I will put that to him as well. But we'll do that in Kibafo. Also, in Suba, would you say, whom we are there?
Brakofi, my main home. Soon they were hot the bats, my main home party. Men can't tell the for whisker cochage. Focus off will be out, and I can there Nissinia and I a whisker. From Hong Kong Hospital, Papa, na within a year, no, about the change in Ngubano. Because I may experience, Sabina, my parents, what they call Ghana. The market woman or Dawson, Tinian accident, Eba, Fanaqua. Make Academy Buba, a soft wound in Ghana. Ebia, Bibe deny. Ibinum be deny, but someone I will keep video records pan and I can also keep it here. Na no one was work the one who did the way you need to for a powerful Ghana. And assembly. A bit sham 1 week, a bit sham 3 days, 21 days. What this guy? So do time be now. May taste time. Churches now. Membu wedding. What will be? Marco Opambo.
Okay.
Marco Bini.
Okay.
Marco could be a friend, House of Power was a being friend La Cosma.
Okay.
Or by a program was Sunyani, or Sansu Yebi or Takradi. Takrade kura no catch him 21 days. No bata. Kweku bonsam. Metane nim face to face. Then me time na me ni akuru bi fi outside aba. And then when we ba na what's a to me dey no force no ne me kwai. Na so dey same thing.
Omo nyina ka say o problem na ye honhom ade.
Oh yeah.
Omo charge o.
Oh, obi register. The last one I'm quite a academy see them coffee no be on the crown. My sister paying for see and a quay. Now make a this kind of farmer. Nah, or for some man. What did 2,000 cities? I'm done the crime program being a mechanic. Or did 2,000 cities or a software or takradi? No, so a church no matter this way schedule. 2,000 or the genome more so the Kayenya. Nti echi kra me ka cha ma me de ma wa che sofo no no se den asofo no ye na wo baleta da ma wasanso wo sunsun me nyama wo de ya ka ye ni kidigidi ha asanso aka ye we drum eko na wo me ye di twado na me o de bia me ka de se wo bibia won ko hospitals won ka sa ho na wo no ye ba face
so what dey say there wo mama bo won yin ni se
yakopon botuma ye bibi Mankasa metan kwa mo bompa ya meti.
No baby say one la cosman.
Oh. Leading na me one the church and also friend house of power.
Okay.
Meeting white kakra. Ni church no ajame suicide.
Okay. Any uchi ba.
Ba ko baby pa. Me hunyama pa Ghana. Yeni hiana me call krobi wo sampa ho no kro na mi we free din e kro no kra ngwane nam ho bi anwi wo say ho ko na ba kro no ho etumi chi baby ba kro mo fo no wo sampa ho no side di fie bi e ba ko no boso ho nyama me di mani ho no
nyina ntia
shi ni ho KOFI Radio. Fan or mind games. A fan here and what trick wa say baby wa hopa dia in the moon na me hu na de ngindi.
All right. Now for you better say na ye ne odin komo ahwe also now was situation na it say obi oyensuo ba odwonso a ontimi na but all the say why you okay.
Sisi I'm to control me yuri. To control boa. Nkocha let me to swanti me ye bibia. Me to me jina ho me wo video kra me send bro. Me use a walker. Me to me jina ho be 8 hours. Me to me tna and the whole day fit ya no permit. Me tna ka me fit takrade to na me back kra. Na ye be shia nkoflon ofi hospital. Maybe hospital and up by 7. My don't have till now. I'm coming to me now even 2 hours scramble. By now my dad home. First in a crana that because of pain. This time me to me that anytime, yeah.
But for ever say yabema ya video bi ewia doctor ba ko be kan ye ho na afi ye di nkomo awura mu ankasa se ebia woni mobi a wawo abofra e fa ne se oye ensuo ba nchemu ne se anu adro e wo ho tetina ya adwen se ba ne se bi wo akwaye na yakoto akora ne de atom ene esa abo bi ne bewe no se den amana ne de ebi wo bi a ese esikapa aban be hwe wa ma wa wani beje kura kwa ye ma onye adwuma na wo ti abofra no ho na che se aban etua oka na wetumi nya bre ahwe no but e ha no entinesa ehunu se ehunhun ade na doctor fo be di nkomani ahwe solution na e wo ho no entima ye hwe video kakra yi obi a of course hospital kura before and after said ye na etie ye hwe short video yi na fe ye ne doctor si entroso
Ah, I want to know how to say chima me no pay ada. You know I want
business
feed you, baby, I'll be on my this thing. How
careless.
Time.
Back from the kid, fix my car. Crack windows. Kitchen cabinet. Now, pal, I don't fear away now. I'm looking very stressed up, sir. Master, for phone. Download the Jack XP app. Yes, that is your solution.
Okay, this is the way.
Master, what do you make a lunch?
Jack, me kodada.
I wanna share with you, and you can share with me. Come, let's share together. Oh, KTA Mobile, KTA Mobile. Technology worth sharing.
It's the future.
All right, and you so the and the understanding we are picking now is cerebral palsy, or what in Ghana is termed as insuba, meaning you came from some water spirit kind of
Witchcraft.
Liver god.
River god. Yeah.
Is it cerebral palsy or autism?
Yeah, both of them. Both of them. It is believed that your parents probably went seeking. They couldn't get the fruit of the womb, and that is what the gods probably gave your parents. And so it's kind of a stigma to have such a child. Society even has a way of seeing you, and so it's a challenge. Some definitely don't make their children survive if they are able to detect it early. So it's quite serious here in Ghana. Anyway, Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Your full name?
My name is Dr. Michael Everest Magoti.
Okay.
I'm a medical director and chief operation officer of IPP Research Technology and Innovation in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And also I'm a speaker and consultant in Stem Cell Africa. And in Africa, we're representing Neurogen Brain and Spine Institute from Mumbai, India.
Oh, okay. I've already taken her thoughts on whether this condition is spiritual. From the medical point of view, do you believe in spirituality in terms of some kind of ailment that we do suffer?
No, these stigmas, you know, they are neurodegenerative disorders.
No, generally, do you believe there are some conditions that are spiritual?
From where I come from, because we are all from Africa,
sure.
So such kind of beliefs, they are there, and they are there in the environment. We grew through them, we experience them sometimes. So such kind of belief, it has been there, it affects us, and even if you don't believe, sometimes you observe it where you live.
No, my question is not answered. Do you believe it?
In some cases, yes, I do believe.
Which cases do you have you had such a situation?
There are situations where you have a patient, you are trying to check in all medical condition, everything's appear normal, and then you find maybe they say they are possessed, something like that. So they are there in the environment, even in the Bible, and we experience them. I'm from Tanzania, so I also experience such kind of experience. That's why I say it's true sometimes.
But Tanzania, are they still killing albinos?
No, we went through that because it happened. There are people believe in witchcraft, especially in terms of having power. So it has happened before. And for now, we see that it's not like before. The incidents are still coming. We have like 2 incidents, but sometimes it used to be attendance. So the same thing we are doing, like awareness, explaining to people the medical part of it, and it's not something like a curse. And we still have difficulties with some people because some believe to have power, you need such kind of witchcraft belief and what, which is not right.
Okay, so I have Tanzania in the house and I have South Africa in the house, so making the conversation quite balanced. They are all Africans, so yes. The belief system in Africa, I don't know where, but do whites generally, apart from Africa, do they believe in these superstitions as well?
There are some people, yes.
They do believe in
it? Some of them do. Some of them do. The minority do. But okay. The majority doesn't.
Okay, so let me come back to this condition that we're discussing. You talk of hope.
Yes.
Meaning it is not something that is like you can't solve it. It's something that is solvable.
Yes, with regards to autism, cerebral palsy. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so our mission through Africa is to raise awareness about autism, to raise awareness about cerebral palsy, to raise awareness about neurological conditions, and then to give people hope that there is treatment. Look, a lot of parents, they will do anything to try and find a treatment for their child. I mean, you spend thousands of dollars and thousands of or millions of cedis on treatment, on therapies, and where you never get the full potential that you're looking for. So what we are doing is we are also raising hope and awareness about stem cell therapy. It's not a new treatment. It has been around for a long time, but I think it's a relatively new thing in Africa, especially, that it helps to treat the conditions. It helps to treat the conditions, yes.
Okay, Doctor, what exactly does it entail? Is it an operation, something? Is it an injection, something? Is it an exercise thing? How is it? Can you take us through?
With Neurogen, actually what is happening in Mumbai, they do a combination of cellular therapy and rehabilitation. It's neurorehabilitation. So it's a combination of something like a treatment by using a stem cell. I make it clear what is it and how it happens, plus a physical therapy. We have occupational therapy like speech therapy. Now, when we are talking about neurodevelopmental disorders, maybe something like autism, you see, there is a problem somewhere. It means that in the brain, you find some cells are not matured. So there is a part of the brain which is not well developed. So those are damaged tissues. And that's why even if the child grows, he can't have the same interactions like other child, because some part of him, with the intellectual parts, they are not perfect. So we can observe in terms of their daily life, their behavior, how they behave, kind of activity that they do, their interest, and especially on communication and intellectual parts, that is on the social part. So physiotherapy, like occupational therapy, speech therapy, it tries to help to interact these kids back to the society. But if the problem is in the core of the brain, even if you try the interaction, those parts, if cannot be repaired, you cannot take them back to the society completely. Okay. What stem cell does right now, especially the one that I'm going to explain, it will reestablish the parts of brain which were deformed, the parts which were damaged. So if I say stem cell therapy, it means it's a treatment by using stem cells. Stem cells, they are daughter cells. If I say daughter cells, it means they are young cells. They are cells which are not yet matured nor specialized. So their maturity depends on the tissue. A cell can be matured after being differentiated and specialized into a specific task. If its task is a muscle task, then we say this is a muscle cell and it is specialized for that task. So a stem cell, it's a cell which doesn't have a specific task. We usually have these cells where in our mother's womb, especially from day 5 after fertilization, we have a bunch of young and immature cells. We call them blastocytes. So from day 5 up to the 2nd month, it almost takes 8 to 8 weeks. This is the time where these cells are now specializing to form different tissues, different organs, and then the organs will form system, and then the embryo will be formed in the body. So if anything's wrong happened by that time, those stem cells will go and repress to make that thing perfect. But as we grow, the number of stem cells decrease and remain with the specialized cells. So if the problem happens later on, you cannot repair because you don't have a stock of stem cell. Okay. So we just have some remainders parts of our body, like the bone marrow or the wisdom teeth. They still contain remainders of stem cells. So they are the parts where we can extract some cells, and if we can manage to put them in another tissue which has problem, these cells can specialize and mature and be the cells of that tissue. Wow. So that's it. But then something which is a huge concern, especially to people, when we talk about stem cell, they think of the embryonic stem cells, and especially because President Bush, he banned these embryonic stem cell research before, because to have the embryonic stem cells, it means you have to interrupt pregnancy, something which is unethical. I think it's the same thing even in Ghana. Yeah. I remember it was 2007 when they banned those tendencies of killing the babies with disabilities and all that. So it's the same thing, because it's unethical. You're going to interrupt the pregnancy. That's why there was a ban for those stem cells. But it's not only embryonic stem cells. We have stem cells which remains on the placenta. We have stem cells on the umbilical cords. These are the parts which can be actually thrown after delivery. And then we have stem cells from fat. So these as a reservoir is the parts which may still contain some stem cells. And then we have stem cells from the bone marrow. So in Neurogen, they are using stem cells from the bone marrow. These are adult stem cells because there is no any ethical or moral issues. It's a treatment by using a patient's own cells. You just take it from somewhere where they are, and then you're going to put it in a place where there is a problem. Then natural, those cells will mature and they replace the cells which have problems where they are placed. So actually, they extract from the bone marrow, they're the adult cells, and then they use the same cells, they put in the same patients on the spinal fluid. So it's not like a huge surgery. We have two injections.
So you take
two injections.
That means it's 2 injections, right?
Yeah, 2 injections.
Yeah,
one for extracting.
Okay.
After extracting, they are going to separate to make sure that they get only the stem cells, okay. And then you are going to have another injection on the spinal fluid. They put it on your back, so they inject them in the spinal fluid. The spinal fluid is flowing to the brain, and it's the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. So wherever where there is a problem, if it's a maybe we say spinal cord injury, somebody will have an accident, they will repair the spine. If it's something which is in the brain, either autism, cerebral palsy, brain stroke, or any other Down syndrome, any neurodegenerative disorders, as long as it happens on the brain and the spinal cord, these cells will mature and be the cells of that part, so they will repair.
All right, let me try and see if I can summarize what you've said so far in our local language for people to appreciate. The doc, and it said, Nipedia is here, will be said, we are bofra, you will Nipedia qua, and no IFN cells. Drew Honor, Nipedia no a basano, Wunina ebum. Now, when you do pempen so be a beer where Juma a honor a very specialized cells. Not just a holiday, any address and pempensono. Enti Ugusua Uni no ano say basse babia ye de say ye ewie na say baby tochima e ana ne kra no eden. Nanso no sa ye nipadua kwa no mia hodo bi wo ho a e ya na e ho de ne da so e ye nkra de ne bi te say ye sembofo no e ya efifi akiri pa bi o efifi ana utikra ya oya no e ho say yetumi atwi bi e de free office e ho no nheda mai nti ya na saa nipadua kwa cells na bi e wo ho nti ya na ye de awo panie e de afa wachi kasei anas wachi bremo no mu nti abra eba no enamu se wadwen mu na saa hawo no wa eduru ho na akoka ho na enu atumi aye adwuma no asiesie na ebia adwen mu stroke kura na aba wadwen mu a etumi eye enu achi ensuo masa de yefre wo mu nso no eno nso etumi eye a we yehwehwemu a wo mo ya eboa omanfo eye pa. So basically just a summary of what you said, but then to think of the fact that this is not an operational something, how then do you get specific places to send these cells? How do you make sure they get to the right places? Because from the explanation you gave, the injection will be done through the spine. So how do you transmit that to wherever there is that defect?
Thank you. That's what we call homage of stem cells. The homing is like where they go. I've said that these they are immature cells. When I'm talking about these researches and kind of treatment, I have to acknowledge the work that has been done by Professor Alok Sharma. He is the head of Neurogen Brain and Spine Institute in India. With his team, Dr. Nandini, they've done a lot of work. These are neurosurgeons and neuroscientists who have dedicated their lives on working on stem cells to see that the modifications and everything which is happening. They can even try to observe like what I'm saying right now. Before it was not known. There was an old thinking like if something is wrong in the brain, there is no way where you can regenerate the brain. But actually through their work, investigation, and by using the PET scan, they have managed to prove that yes, the brain can be regenerated. Now how it happens, I've said that these stem cells, they're immature cells. The human body has varieties of cells. We have almost 100 kinds of different cells. Now all these cells, they arise from stem cells. So if you have a young cell, it has the potential to differentiate to any type of these cells. So what they do after extracting these adult cells from the bone marrow, they put them in the spinal fluid. The spinal fluid, it's a liquid which moves around the brain and the spinal cord. It's the one which cleans and controls the pressures. So if you inject there, these stem cells, they will be flowing within the fluid. So wherever the fluid goes, it will go. So technically, it will touch the brain, it will also touch the spine. Now, how are they homing? They are home depending on the problem which is there in the brain. For instance, if it's on the cerebral cells, they see that it's a place where there is a deficit. Actually, they will specialize depending with the deficit. If the deficit is somewhere in the brain, so they will go direct where the deficit is. They can never mature to somewhere where there is no problem. So their specialization depends with where the problem is. If it's on the spine, they will go to the spine. So that's how they can repair different conditions. And we say these stem cells, they have three potential works. We say 3R. The first one, it's reparation. The second one is replacement. And the other one is regeneration. So they can either regenerate new cells by themselves, specialized to that cell which has a problem, and they can also give out some chemicals, the mechanisms which can help repairing the cells which they are damaged but they're still alive. And if it's a cell that cannot be repaired, then the regenerated one can replace that cells and act as that one.
Wow.
That's why you have those improvements.
All right, Dr. Michael, thanks. Daniel, right?
Yes.
Are you also a doctor?
I wish.
You
but
wish.
I'm a medic in South Africa, so
okay.
I do come from a medical field.
Okay, okay. I was just being careful as to whether to add doctor to your name or not.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
So how has it been so far? The success story.
Yeah.
How has it been? How many people have been able to go through this successfully?
Okay, so Neurogen has treated over 8,000 patients now, okay, from 65 different countries, okay. Really good success stories, very good. We've had, personally, I know of about 7 or 8 children that we looked after and that is very close to us in South Africa. We had a boy that came from Kenya. His name is Victor. He was one of the first children that we looked after in Kenya, in Cape Town, because we had a home for children with autism. Since my brother is he is autistic, blind.
Okay.
He's he's got brain damage.
Wow.
And he
was that
is
true?
Epileptic.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's.
No, are you able to handle? Are you able to
handle?
handle epilepsy through that as well?
Those are the comorbidities which comes along.
So
Okay.
yeah. So we'll explain now. So we looked after Victor. He came to us from Kenya, and his mother actually phoned my mother, and she said, "Please, I need someone to look after my son. Can you please help?" So we said, "Yes, fine. Send your child to us," not knowing how severe his autism was actually. And when he came to us, I think it was 1 week, and I said to my mother, "We have to send Victor back. We cannot look after him." He used to jump through. We bolted all our windows closed in the house, okay, so that he couldn't get out. We put gates in front of our doors. We did everything we possibly could to keep him inside the house, because he would just jump out the window and run, and then he'd run away, and then we have to look for 3 hours. We're looking for him. And the one day we were looking, and we asked everyone, so they said, "No, we must go look at the police station." Went to the police station, and there we found Victor. And so he went for the stem cell therapy, and he came back, and we saw some changes. The hyperactivity reduced a little bit. He wasn't so active the whole time. He could sit still. We could actually teach him to eat with a spoon, because before he was just taking the food and shoving it in his mouth. And so he started eating with a spoon, and then later on he started making sounds with his mouth, because he was non-verbal as well. And yeah, he's doing very well now. His very first word was banana. Okay, was banana. And he is now singing. He's singing some songs now, and not like proper words, but it's more than what he had. We couldn't even say yes or no. He can at least sing a song now.
It's correctable to the point that the person can
communicate,
can be independent.
Independent. Yes, there's triplets in Kenya. Okay, Mercy has got triplets. All 3 her children have got autism, ranging from mild to severe.
Okay, that was the video that we
Yes, that was the video that we showed you. Her children did really well. The one child, he also had really bad autism. And he's actually going to school now. He can write, he can read, he dresses himself, he can go to the shop, he can buy stuff with money, he brings back the change. So he has really improved to the point that he is actually very independent. Yes, there are many success stories. And then I want to talk about Alex. Phyllis, one of the ladies that's with us at the moment. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here because we were in such a rush. We had to get here. but her son is doing exceptionally well. He is doing so well. She's bragging the whole time, and like he couldn't walk properly. He's now walking on his own. He can walk on his own. He has cerebral palsy. His speech was very mumbled, so you can't always make out what he's saying, and now he is speaking so clearly that you can hear all his words that he's talking. And he is now in high school, and they did exams. He got 80% for his mathematics. Yeah, so he's a very clever child as well. Yeah,
Very impressive.
There's many, and the nice thing about Neurogen is that all their work is published. Okay, they have many publications on their work. You can contact them and they will send you videos. They have an open book policy when it comes to the treatments and to any publications that you would like to see. Yeah.
Very interesting. But I'll quickly let me find out if epilepsy is also treatable through the same process.
Yes, as I'm saying, most of the problem which happens in the brain, because there are two things. I said we have stem cell therapy and we have neuro rehabilitations, like a proper way to teach somebody to come back to the normal ways. This one we need physio, that's why you say it's neuro rehabilitation. So there it's a combination of both. Stem cells will improve the cells. You know, in treatment we have two things. There is a curative treatment and there is a treatment which can improve and make somebody independent. Because the cost and burden of all those things is disabilities. When you have a disability, it's a burden for the family, and especially if you don't have awareness, we still have the same thinking, maybe it's witchcraft and what. So that's a huge burden. So when we talk about this, if the cells are specializing, there are different causes which may cause epilepsy. You see, epilepsy on itself can be a disease, and it's a mental disease, so it affects the brain, some parts of the brain, and you can observe a patient having seizures and what. So if you happen to repair those cells, it will also help. But it comes along as a comorbidities. When we're talking about it means they're like complications which comes especially if it's a severe autism. So if you happen to reverse the autism, these other complications may not be observed. Like you find a child from severe autism is moving to moderate, to moving to mild. So even the appearance of this depends on which stage.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Can I say something?
Okay.
Yes. Okay, with regards to the epilepsy, Neurogen has they have a lot of policies on their side effects and complications and things. There are no side effects of the stem cell therapy, or no complications, let me rather say, but they do say that, and Professor Alok Sharma is very adamant about this, that stem cell therapy does not treat epilepsy. Reason why? Because that is a chemical problem in the brain. All right, and stem cell therapy, what it does is it activates cells in the brain. So there's a chance of a 3% chance that the epilepsy could become a little bit worse. Okay, but it does decrease again after about 3 months. He does also say that if a child is on epilepsy medication, okay, you do not take the child off the epilepsy medication. That is something the child has to take. We have experienced in some patients that it seems like the epilepsy reduces, okay, but that is still, they are still looking into that. So we don't want to say yes, it does treat epilepsy, and when it doesn't. Is there a
way someone wanting to contact you have a child who kind of suffering from cerebral palsy or any other complication? Yeah. Is there a way to contact?
There is. You can. They can send an email, okay. To stemcell.africa@gmail.com. They can also go on to www.stemcellafrica.com. And yes, they can also contact us via that. we do have as soon as they can send an email, then we also send out all the contact details. And
Okay, but there's no phone number.
There's a phone number. There's a phone number that you can contact, but okay, so it's a South African number.
Okay.
It's a South African number.
But it's on WhatsApp.
Yes, it's on WhatsApp.
Okay.
It's on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes, it's +27.
+27. Okay.
73 044 2116. That is one. That is one of the numbers. I can just see how many messages are going to come through now. This is why. So email is a lot better because we have more control over it. If we have 1,000 people sending messages get lost. So we prefer to have emails sent through. So then we can also send more information, and yeah, it just makes it a lot easier than having 1,000 messages come through on WhatsApp.
Yes, sure.
And then you see these messages and you're like, this one, this was this, and maybe some people aren't very serious about asking questions. So yeah, that's how we try and filter it out.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
No problem. Look, final words. We are almost done. Any advice, general words that you want to tell our viewers?
Yes, our mission actually in Africa is to spread awareness, to make people understanding about all these conditions, that it's not a curse, it's not a spiritual thing or something which has been brought because a misfortune or what. No, they are happening and they are causes. We have the expositions like genetic exposition, sometimes environmental factors. So it's something that you have to accept and to know that there is a hope. Actually, what Neurogen does, it's a way of improving these different conditions. So it shows the way, and it gives us more hope that in future probably they will be completely cured. So if people will have that awareness, I think even the perception will be different, and if we can convert the situation of disability to become people who are independent, we will reduce that dependent thing in the family, and then the society like the one of Ghana, this burden won't be there. I know there is a huge number of people disabled. It says at least 5 million people who are disabled, and out of those 5 million, you have 2.8 with mental disabilities. So that's a lot. And out of those, you have 650 who are in acute states. Those 650,000 are a lot. The one in prayers chambers and all. So I think the community, especially people, they need to have a proper understanding, and if they understand, even the caretakers will have different perceptions and they will treat them perfect. There is a hope. Yes.
Anil, any final words?
Yes, I have final words. I'm inviting people to come listen to our presentation tomorrow. Okay, it's about stem cell therapy and the therapies that go hand in hand with it. It is at the Paloma Hotel.
Okay,
in Ring Road. I think it's Ring Road.
Paloma. Just beside the former NDC headquarters, party headquarters.
Yes, Paloma, I think I saw something like that. Yeah, so it starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if anyone wants to come, they're more than welcome to come have a listen. They can come ask us questions anytime. Yeah, we leave tomorrow evening, so please try and make it tomorrow.
All right. And you say, oh, baby, the condition is what time are you starting?
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, yeah.
10 o'clock in the
morning.
morning.
In the morning, yes.
Okay, Paloma, Wachina, Anopa, Nun Pepe, Menti sorry, first service. Sebe ya bepontem by 9 hour upon that wet me Akubi. Na etumi abo. Number ne de wedi kind de atuja email numbers abetumi contact wo mo e woso nyina na odne nyina atuja enimti no momoden ne fa sa kwan no so na entimi emwa yedo besia na yada wase beda Daniel ne Dr. Martin say o mekan ho. Thank you very much for passing through and making people who probably might have lost hope, thinking it was a hopeless situation, letting them know that it is not all lost.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, do we see ya? Okay.
Done.
We are done here. Mark.
Do you have a profession? Having difficulty finding a job? Well, your answer is here. Introducing Jack, the mobile app that does all the hard work of finding a job for you. All you have to do is download the Jack app from the Play Store, sign up, and then you will be notified to come to our office for verification and approval. After which you will be handed an ID card. Now sit in the comfort of your home, office or shop, and wait for Jack to bring the jobs. It's that simple. Sign up today, get approved, and start working. So Jack, where are you? Me kodada. This service is available to individuals and businesses.
Hi, my name is Afo, a handyman from Jack. Are you a handyman looking to get more jobs and expand your business reach? Join me on Jack, the mobile app that creates opportunities for handymen to list their services for customers to search and hire. If you're a plumber, carpenter, mason, electrician, cleaner, gardener, auto mechanic, carpet cleaner, fumigator, and what have you, join me on Jack and get hired. Download the Jack SB app from the Google Play Store and App Store. Sign up and get approved and start working. Jack, me kodada.